Hello guys, it's Sendou here again. So today we have a special video with a new patch coming out, so we're gonna take a look at the changes and I'm gonna be going what I think this can change in regards to is the weapon gonna see more play or is it actually gonna do anything. And also for music this time we have literal elevator music from one game. If you know the game, let me know. But yeah, that one guy wanted elevator music, so now we have elevator music for this video. And yeah, I'm gonna go over the important changes and just tell you guys if something's gonna change or not, the way I see it. And just to start from the beginning, we have them kinda undoing the damage with the aerospray nerf, kind of. So aerospray nerf was kinda not really needed when it happened. As you can see, like it used to be super good at painting, now it's kinda like surprisingly lame considering it's aerospray. So now they're saying they're gonna increase how much each pellet paints the ground, which is probably, it's pretty nice too that they are undoing the damage they did, but again, it's still aerospray, so I can see too much changing. Although it might be a pretty nice option if you want fast curling bomb rush on some maps. I don't know, it might definitely be worth it, but yeah, I don't know, it's kind of like in the category of them undoing their damage more than really changing anything. And for 52, better RNG from first two shots. So I believe like you can see like 52 always had like a bit of like RNG thing going on compared to some other shooters. So now a bit less RNG, nice to have. Probably nothing ground breaking, but still, sometimes you have those situations where you can hit any of your shots. So I guess now those crucial first shots are pretty easier to hit, and 52 was already kind of on the verge of being pretty useful with Stingray being its kit now, so I think definitely something nice to have, so some a bit more accuracy. So definitely interesting to see where 52 will go now. I don't think this will be too big of a buff, but maybe it's enough of like relative life change that people are more likely to play it. And kind of like in the same line for Jet, they also increased the spread, like made the spread less. So now when you jump, less spread. So I guess you can see when you jump, Jet has pretty insane spread, which will be a bit less after this patch. So again, Jet has been seeing more play lately. The kid is super strong, as we know, with Burst Bomb and Stingray. So again, small buff. Since it's already like starting to see some play, I could maybe see this. In some situations, I guess, you're having a 1v1 where you have to be able to get those shots in, maybe in some situation you're gonna be able to deal better, but I guess more so it's just, gonna be a strong option even in this patch, thanks to its strong kit mostly. But yeah, so small quality of life changes. And for Clash, we have 2 frames faster shot interval. So it's shooting every 22 frames now, and it's gonna be shooting every 20 frames after the patch. And to compensate, they reduce the painting ability. So the painting ability changed the same, but it shoots a bit faster. So probably not much gonna happen. Just 2 frames, but still nice that they're thinking of Clash, I guess, and it might be an interesting niche opinion down the line, depending on what the second kit will end up being. But just pretty small buff still. And L3 again, not really a huge buff to it either. It's more like, okay, they realized this weapon could be a bit stronger, so they're thinking how to buff it without, breaking it. So we have 25% faster shot velocity, which is, I guess, kind of nice to have, I'm not really L3 player. I think it's already been seeing some play, but maybe it's now a bit easier to aim since it's a burst type of weapon with 3 shots being fired. So maybe getting those shots faster on that target might be actually pretty nice. I don't know. Again, maybe the baller buff will do more for it, but more about that later. Carbon, or actually let's go H3 first. So for H3 is pretty nice buff. So unlike Splatoon 1, you see like the shot spread for this weapon is pretty disgusting in this game. Like when you jump, you have a lot of spread. But if I'm reading the notes correctly, if the translators are correct, then it would be actually no RNG at all when you're jumping, which should be the same as Splatoon 1, I believe. Overall, that's really nice. I've been seeing like H3 players complain about this. So definitely, I think it's gonna be allowing H3 to see a lot more play thanks to that, and also increase the, the painting, which is, overall H3 got the biggest buffs of all of the weapons basically. And I think especially if the second kit comes out and it's really like sprinkler armor, then this weapon's gonna see some serious play now, and it's definitely gonna have a very high skill cap now and allowing very good players to do some pretty crazy stuff with it. So definitely interested in seeing where H3 goes after the patch. And there's this weapon, if you remember it from Splatoon 1, haven't been seeing too much in Splatoon 2, but 35% more killing range, so that's pretty impressive to me. And it's specifically about the horizontal flick, not the long flick. But horizontal flick, 35% more. It's pretty. I think it's pretty nice to increase the lethal range like that. I think that's gonna do quite a bit for Carbon. I'm not sure if it's enough to make it like super strong or anything. Maybe the second kit. If the second kit is correct and is really good, then I could maybe see Carbon see some play like regular roller. But for now, it's a nice buff and definitely one of the more significant buffs in the patch. So nice to see where Carbon goes after this patch. E-Leader, well, they buffed it, but it's not much. So basically, the only thing that changed was that shot velocity was increased, same as L3, and when you full charge, your shot velocity will be 50% faster. So that's gonna make hitting some moving targets, for example, easier, because you have to lead your shots, right? So that's always what the shot velocity buffs do. So you have to lead your shot when the target's moving, but if your shot is moving faster, then you have to lead less. So it's kind of easier to hit your shots, especially on moving targets. So again, nice that they're thinking it either, but yeah, I don't think this kind of buff gonna do anything other than maybe make it a bit less painful to play. Mini Spatling, again, missile buff might be the biggest for this, but also, it's gonna be a bit more potent painter, maybe. So for Mini Spatling, we have basically up in 10 frames. Like you can start recharging 10 frames faster. So basically what you see now when I shoot, I have this like white ink during which I cannot recharge ink. So it's gonna be super fast for you to start recharging ink after you shoot. So that's gonna allow you to put more paint on the ground per minute and so on. So again, pretty nice thing to do for the weapon. Not the groundbreaking stuff, but still it's gonna be interesting to see where Mini goes, especially if the second kit is strong. And I'm been saying this a lot, but that's really what it is with many of these weapons. Just has the wrong kit, so the actual weapon doesn't see much play. But still making it a bit more potent painter. I can respect that change. And for the very big brother of Mini Spatling, that is Hydra Spatling, that is very unused right now thanks to the kit. And again, same thing, second kit might make more, but you can actually shoot 25% longer. So when you release the button, you can shoot for 25% longer, which is pretty insane when you think about it. I mean, it won't do much. It's more like for, I don't know if you're painting like this, I guess. Like, yeah, you can do like this for like ages now. Like the match is gonna be over before you stop shooting, but it's not probably gonna be enough to do anything for Hydra before they do something about the splashdown, but it's gonna be pretty interesting to see. It's definitely gonna make Hydra very different from the other Spatling at least now, so that's at least nice. And for second last main weapon change, we have more dually buffs because there's not enough of them already. So less RNG when you do this. Same RNG when you do this. Well, there's no RNG basically with that, but again, sure, nice. It's less missiles, so that's not super great. But if the second kit really is platforming armor, then again, hey, it's probably gonna be even more dualies. Then nice thing to have in some situation. It's kind of annoying sometimes. You can like miss a lot of shots thanks to the RNG being all over the place. But if you're doing this one, you know, 20% less RNG, you know. I bet you're gonna take it if you're playing this weapon. Because you're not gonna be always like being in this turret mode, but sometimes you have to be doing this as well. And undercover umbrella, well, we all know this is not a weapon that sees a lot of play right now, but still, you know, pretty interesting thing, really, I think. So they decided to increase the painting. This depends on how much they actually increase the painting. So I don't know if their plan is to make this like a weapon that like is one of the better ranking weapons in the game, because already is pretty good painter. Like it's not the worst for sure. So they're increasing that. So again, I don't think this is gonna really do anything unless they really went crazy with the painting buff. But you know, so nice to be thinking of it, I guess. And maybe next patch we can actually see something that might make it playable. For sub weapons, I'm surprised you know, beacons haven't seen more use, but what they're doing now is pretty interesting as well. So when you throw a beacon, so I'm guessing people around the circle here will be revealed on the minimap, so you're gonna be call out flanks like that. You're gonna be able to place aggressive beacons that let you tell where the enemy is going from spawn, for example, stuff like this. You know, it's pretty interesting, I guess. If you like respawning, you check your map, you're like, oh yo, this beacon is telling there's someone going there, and then you can call that out and stuff happens. So again, pretty nice that they are thinking of like creative buffs like this. So definitely think it's a way to go with many of these buffs is to create secondary effects to them. Tenta missiles, which is pretty weaker special right now, but they didn't really come up with too big of a buff. So essentially what's changed now is that when you're in this mode you can swim. Like right now I'm pretty like stuck when I do this. So if I pop them in a bad position then I'm screwed, but now I can like swim and reposition and fire them again. But again, I don't know how much good players will get use of this. So you know, just think about it. Like if you're a really good player, will you be starting missiles from many positions that are super aggressive that you're gonna get punished? Although I don't know, because you definitely don't want to be playing too defensive, like you're always playing as aggressive as possible, so I guess that's gonna make that a bit more feasible. I don't know, I'm not gonna judge this change. It could be doing a lot in reality when it doesn't feel like that right now, but I'm definitely gonna be interested in seeing how missiles work and maybe try them out myself. But you know, the small quality of life change is what my first reaction is, but it might also be bigger if it allows you to actually be aggressive with missiles instead of going to your base every time you want to use them, basically. And Baller and Inkjet, finally. You know, really interesting buffs overall. So what's happening is that you'll be a bit more mobile, I guess, with your turning. As you can see, when I turn, it's gonna take a while. So it's gonna be a bit more agile like that. You know, not huge stuff, but definitely nice to have. And both for Baller as well. I'm interested in seeing how big of a buff this is in real life. So you know, it could probably do a lot. I'm not gonna deny it because it all depends on how it works in the real game. But as you can see, like I'm pretty easy target if I change you know where I'm going. So I have to commit much more to one thing that I'm doing instead of maybe trying to do some jukes or changing my plan midway, because that's how sluggish Baller was, but now it's apparently not as sluggish. So you know, cool to have. I don't think it's groundbreaking, but still cool to have for sure. Special requirement changes: Custom Junior 180 instead of 190, 96, armor in 190 instead of 200, Dynamo Armor Edition 180 instead of 200. Splat Roller is gonna take 10 points more to get Splashdown, so in 180. And Slaughter Deco 10 points more to take Bowler. Yeah, like 10 points there. Doesn't really change anything, but you know, that's another thing, I guess. Maybe most for the roller, it's kind of hard to pull the Splashdown already with it, and now 10 points harder, so I guess that's something. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing else really stands out too much. They removed the the two sprinkler thing. You could throw like two sprinklers if you angled them correctly. Like if they both land at the same time, you could have two sprinklers at the same time. So that was unintended, so they fixed it pretty fast. But yeah, that's the patch. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope the music wasn't too annoying. I didn't realize it was gonna be this repetitive, but I didn't want to remake this either. So I still got my ideas out there. So this video, if you survive this long, you're only the strongest out there. So now you have the information available to you. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know what you think about the patch notes. And as always, when any questions, leave me a comment. See you guys next time.